Hi everyone, I'm Graham from Business English Flash, B Flash. Thank you for joining me. Have you ever been in a conversation at work and you didn't quite understand what people were talking about? Maybe you heard expressions like things are up in the air at the moment, or we need to go back to square one. Well, maybe it is because you heard some of the common business idioms used in the workplace that we'll be learning today. Now, idioms are famous for being hard to understand because if you take them literally, they make no sense. The more you understand them, the better idea you'll have of why they are used, and you'll be able to use them yourself with confidence. Are we on the same page that idioms are important? Our first idiom is be on the same page, which means to agree on something with someone. For example, imagine we're talking about a contract. We went over the details of the contract to make sure we were on the same page. This means we looked at the contract together to be sure that we both have the same ideas about what's in it. Now, imagine that you aren't on the same page about the contract and the client refuses to sign it. Then things would be up in the air. This means that things are uncertain or undecided. For example, since the client refused to sign the contract, the whole deal is up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. So your client was being difficult and decided that they didn't like the contract. This means you might be back to square one, which means to start something over again from the very beginning. For example, our client was not at all happy with the contract we drew up. This means we're back to square one. We have to draw up a completely new contract. Seeing as your client is difficult when you draw up the contract, you're going to want to make sure you pay attention to all of the details and don't cut corners. Cutting corners means to do something in an easy, usually cheap and fast way without paying any attention to the quality of what you are doing, just so you can save time and money. You could use it like this. If we cut corners with this contract, we'll have problems later. Let's take our time and do it right. Moving on. You didn't cut corners and things are no longer up in the air. You and your client eventually negotiated a new contract. Excellent. But the whole process has been quite difficult, hasn't it? In fact, it's been an uphill battle with them. When something is an uphill battle, it means that something is hard to achieve because of difficulties or obstacles. For example, signing this contract has been an uphill battle. The client has tried to negotiate endless modifications and demands. So, now things are going well with your client, the contract is signed, your product is out, and the client is very happy with it. The contract is up for renewal, and you can say it's a safe bet they'll stay on with you. If something in the future is a safe bet, it means it is very likely to happen. For example, it's a safe bet we'll renew the contract since our client liked our product. You mean you are almost completely sure that the client will stay with you. Now, even though you've had your ups and downs with the project, in a nutshell, it was a success. Using in a nutshell is a way to say you're giving a summary of something. There might be more to the story, but you're giving the short version. For example, in a nutshell, we had some problems with signing the contract, but in the end, we got the client. At the other end of the scale, you could also look at the big picture. To see the big picture means to see a situation as a whole rather than looking at immediate problems and details. For example, it was a difficult start, but we have to look at the big picture. We signed our first contract and finally launched our product. And there you have it. You've learned business idioms that you can use at work. Next time you're at work, use some of these idioms and you'll make a good impression. If you've liked this video about idioms and you want to learn more, check out our video, Sports Idioms in Business. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you've heard, give a thumbs up, share with your friends, and don't forget to send in your questions to Twitter at Telelangue, #bflash, and make sure to join us next time. Goodbye.